I think our goal is really to find ways to help you all increase your net worth and find a way to achieve your ideal life financially. So.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Real Talk with Sherwin.
And I'm Tyler. What's up, guys?
Hey, guys. So this show is about real talk, real estate with real people in the real estate industry, with a primary focus on multifamily syndications, but we're going to dab on different topics of real estate.
And this is episode 1 for everyone. This is a brand new venture for Sherwin and myself. We've never done a YouTube channel, but we kind of committed this year to saying, let's put out some more content for everyone. So I think, what we'll be going over, at least on this first episode, is kind of why we're doing this, give you a little bit of background on who we are, what we do, what our experience is, and then kind of the future and progression of what we hope this to hopefully evolve into down the line. So
yeah, this is our pilot episode, and this is real. It's kind of like
it's real talk.
We're gonna go for it. We're gonna stumble along the way and make mistakes, but fail fast, fail forward, and we'll kind of just go from there, right?
Well, my whole brand is, and for those of you that know me from Twitter or whatever, like jump in real estate. It's all about taking that jump, taking that leap, like taking action. I think a lot of people get kind of paralyzed in that analysis paralysis phase. So this is Sherwin and I taking action, man. And So, I mean, with that, like, let's kind of talk about why we're doing this, what kind of the inspiration was behind this, and kind of the why behind this. You want to start, Sherwin?
Yeah, I think when Tyler, I think you actually reached out to me. Hey, Sherwin, are you interested in doing maybe like a YouTube channel or podcast about real estate investing? And funny thing was, I actually was one of my goals this year to sort of start some type of creative content or real estate content to kind of reach out to fellow investors, colleagues of different levels of experience. I have conversations with investors, every week, and I tend to get asked the same questions every time. And I attempt to ask them the same questions every time. And I think it would be great to kind of have like a platform out there to kind of share our experiences, kind of like educate people, motivate people about the benefits about investing in real estate. I don't know, what are your thoughts, Tyler?
Yeah, I think you and I come from a background where I'll just say, I think real estate has changed our lives. Hopefully for the better. But and I, just to touch on Sherwin's background, he's full-time real estate right now, and I'm in that position as well. But luckily you and I got into this game years ago, and I'm not saying we're veterans or have been doing this for decades or anything, but again, the fact remains that like real estate changed our lives from a financial standpoint, plus just building connections and friendships. I mean, I've connected with so many people in this world now, including yourself, Sherwin, that I just connect with mentally, in terms of like our similar strategies and philosophies on life. So yeah, it's like you said, it's all about education, motivation, inspiration. And then also, I think we saw an opportunity to be a little bit different. Everyone knows Bigger Pockets. They have a great brand. They have a podcast. They have a YouTube channel. But I think from our standpoint, we wanted to be a little bit more casual and really portray like real talk, we'll call it, like maybe you and your buddies or friends sitting down at a bar after work and maybe throwing around some strange questions that aren't as buttoned up as usual. And we're kind of usually more casual guys, but we're hopefully somewhat educated. So we saw an opportunity there, I think, to be a little bit more casual, a little bit more vulnerable. And I think one of your analogies, Sherwin, was like, we wanted to provide a space where people that were listening to us could kind of be like a fly on the wall, to listen into kind of our experiences and our real chats. So yeah, I think it's all about education, motivation, inspiration, and then being different. But yeah, anything else on your end?
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the nail. Like, it's almost like if you're on a fly on the wall, you could listen in on our conversation, because so many times I'll have conversations with, other investors like yourself, maybe with my property manager or my broker or my lender. And I'm like, man, this is great, valuable content if we record what we were just talking about and kind of share that with people rather than kind of like piecemeal in different posts or piecemeal in like kind of like an interview kind of question format. And I think, you know, we kind of have an idea where the show is going to go. Of course, it's going to grow kind of organically. And it's almost like you mentioned, like if you were just going to have a beer with a buddy at a bar, what would you guys talk about? If you guys were mic'd up and talking about real estate investing, what would you guys be talking about? And the good, the bad, the funny, the weird, you know, that kind of thing. So many times, you know, on these real estate forums or on Facebook groups, people like to talk about kind of like the good stuff, like, hey, check out this, I made all this cash flow, I made this income. But there's a lot of bad stuff or challenging stuff. I don't say bad, like challenging stuff that occurs in the real estate world that maybe not enough people talk about. And you and I, you know, we're not experts in this field. We're I guess kind of we are investors, so we're not really newbies, but we're not super kind of experts, and we're vulnerable. And hopefully people out there, you know, kind of see us as kind of like our buddies along the way, that they could hang out and chat about real estate and kind of learn new things from us and also from them, and to just share our experiences and stories. I think that's what's valuable, is kind of learn off people's kind of experiences, learn off people's kind of stories, and improve each other's investing capabilities, and kind of go from there, you know?
Yeah. So I think with that, I'll say, don't forget to like and subscribe. But we'll jump into kind of the next topic here, which is who we are.
Oh yeah.
And then also, we're going to edit this out, Sherwin, but it's funny. I don't ever get this thing, but now it's saying I only have 10 minutes left of my free version of Zoom. So I'm going to have to edit this out, and we'll have to restart in a little bit.
Oh, that's fine.
I never get this, dude. It never pops up. I don't know why it happened this one time.
Of course it happens when we're recording. Right?
Anyways,
that's a good segue you can add at the end.
Like, we'll keep rolling with this for sure.
Yeah,
but so who are we? Like who the hell are we? Why would you even listen to any of us? I don't know who wants to go first, Sherwin. But I think we should touch on like professional background, personal background, kind of our experience. Maybe together we'll talk about how we met. But why don't you start? I'll let you start, Sherwin.
Put me on the hot seat. I was gonna ask you to go first, so I can kind of follow suit. But
I diverted that to you real quick.
Well, just real quick, you know, I'm Sherwin Gonzalez. I'm originally from Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm not gonna take you all the way back, but just sort of like, you know, sort of my background. And I left Hawaii after high school to go to college in LA to study architecture. So by trade, I have an architecture background, and that's what I've been doing for kind of like 18 plus years in my W-2 career days. And I've been investing in real estate since 2005 was when I bought my first property down in San Jose. I bought a loft there. I know we'll probably go more into detail about kind of like our first kind of real estate experiences in future episodes. But so I've invested in real estate since 2005. So I've been there when the downturn happened and when it came back again. And I just started investing in real estate just to earn some passive income on the side to supplement my career in architecture, because a lot of people don't know a career in architecture doesn't really pay that well in the beginning. So, you know, I was told and read from, you know, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad that real estate is a great way to kind of build your wealth and build some passive income. So I started investing in that. And it wasn't until I got married and I got kids when I started becoming more serious into investing in real estate. So in 2018, I started my company Flight. We're a real estate syndication firm where we syndicate primarily multifamily properties, but we're doing to other classes such as self-storage as well. We'll talk about more about, you know, our companies and what we do in a future episode. But I started doing that, syndicating deals in 2018, and a little bit over 2 years, I've done 8 syndicated deals, and we exited in 3 deals. We're under escrow right now for a self-storage deal right now, and we're constantly actively making offers right now on multifamily deals as we speak. So, you know, that kind of gives a little bit of my professional background. It's great because I get to parlay my architecture background into my real estate investments. And I think that's another future episode. We're gonna transition into like how we transition from kind of like our W-2 careers into full-time real estate, you know?
Yeah.
So,
no, that's awesome.
Yeah, and just real quick, you know, like I'm married, I have 2 young kids. I have a 4-year-old boy and a daughter that just turned 1, New Year's Day. So, you know,
happy birthday.
Great. And I live in the Bay Area, so Bay Area represent. But you know, always always a guy from Hawaii, born and raised. So I got a Hawaii represent as well. So
I think that's actually, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but one of the things that attracted me to you initially was the whole Hawaii connection. Cause I used to go there every year with my family, and
yeah,
like, there's always a soft spot for Hawaii. Just cause
yeah.
I'm also in the Bay Area, but my family and I would travel out there usually during the summer and, enjoy the sun and the beach and the loco moco. So
I know. Yeah, I remember when we first met. You're like sending me images of like plate lunches or locomocos and stuff, and I was like, "Who's this Tyler guy?" I just met at this meetup sending me plate lunches and stuff. But yeah, but it's great. I mean, we're gonna talk more about it later, the power of networking and just
Yep. We'll
telling
touch
people.
on how we met for sure. That's a good
Yeah, for
story.
sure. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll just start. We'll start kind of on the personal side, but yeah, I think one cool dynamic between Sherwin and myself is, he's the family man. He's married, has kids, and I'm the single dude over here living the bachelor life. But so yeah, I born and raised in the Bay Area. Haven't really left this area too much ever, except for college down in the Southern California region. But I started my career in the W2 world, like a lot of people, and spent about 10 years actually in the sales and business role in the sports industry. That kind of, with COVID, created some challenges within my industry, and that led to me eventually making a decision to kind of go full time right now, at least in the real estate space. But I started getting into the real estate world in 2016, really because I think, similar to maybe a lot of our viewers and or listeners or viewers, whatever you want to call them, our friends, I saw my life path, and it pretty much involved working in a cubicle or at a desk for 45 years. And I was like, I don't really want to take this path. So I was trying to really just figure out ways to bring in, monthly income. And, I think real estate, after some research, seemed to be one of the best methods. So I jumped into to real estate in 2016, started buying properties out of state, essentially sight unseen. Was very naive and not very experienced, but learned on the fly. I jumped in, and that's kind of the basis behind my brand right now, which is an online platform for education called Jump In Real Estate. And then so since buying properties out of state on my own, single families, duplexes, I jumped further into the larger multifamily world in 2018, both on the limited partner investing side as well as a GP in deals, being more active. So yeah, I think Sherwin and I collectively have some really good experience from everything from investing out of state versus in state, being an LP like myself in deals, and then obviously Sherwin being very experienced on the GP side. So yeah, that's kind of my quick background.
Yeah, I think great point you made. Like it's kind of like I had that kind of aha moment when, you know, for all my years in architecture, I worked on single family homes, both ground up and rehab, multifamily, hospitality, and retail. And I kind of was like, adding value to my clients' portfolio and investments. And I was like, I want that seat in a conference table, right? I want to be that person. So I sort of parlayed that knowledge and kind of shifted, positions. And now I'm the one kind of managing and acquiring investments, on behalf of other people in the form of a syndication and so forth, and get to leverage my skills. I work with clients from like Google, Facebook, Intel, HP, and so forth, kind of branding their space, and they kind of taking what I know from that into real estate and investments and so forth. So
yeah, I think Sherwin, let's shift to another gear real quick. Like, let's talk about how we met, and I guess ultimately the power of networking, because I think that's a really cool story. And I also think, at least me personally, a huge reason for my success in the real estate business has been because I have actively networked. And it's not just the cliche, like go around, pass out your business cards. It's like actively reach out to people on Twitter, social media, at meetups, like friends from bigger pockets, and like just cultivate relationships, because that's where I found opportunities will just arise really. But so, yeah, I don't know. You want to start on how we met, or should I start on how we met?
Sure, I can add. I mean, like you say, it's like something like your network. Is it your network? Is your network?
Maybe
network?
Yeah. Yeah. Is it your network is your net worth?
One of those. It's one of those.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's so true. I mean, like, I first got acquainted with you through a meetup.
Yep.
That's probably one of the, that's how I started, investing, or not investing. It was how, when I started wanting to learn more about real estate investing, I started joining all these different meetups. And back when we could meet up back in the day, pre-COVID days, I just started joining all these meetup clubs, our real estate investing meetup clubs, and started just going to these meetups. And I know we're gonna have a future episode maybe on the power of networking where we get more in detailed about this topic. But that's how I initially met you. I lived in Oakland. I know there was a Oakland meetup. There was a meeting in Oakland that I haven't really gone to, because I always gone to the San Francisco meetups because I worked in San Francisco. So I was like, it's on the BART ride. I think let me go try out this meetup. And I remember, was this like a year and a half ago or almost 2 years ago?
I think it was like this. It was winter of like 19, because it was before COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Winter
And
of
I remember,
19.
yeah, and I remember I wasn't even gonna go because then my wife was pregnant with my second kid, and I told my wife, let me go to this one meetup. I know it's the holidays. It's probably gonna be the last meetup of the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go, and I wasn't gonna go, and I was like, all right, let me just go. I remember getting off BART. I was like, should I walk there? Should I not? This is like in West Oakland. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a lift there. So I went there, and I was late. There was already a lot of people there, and I was kind of intimidated. I still get nervous. I even before that, I went to a lot of meetups. I still get nervous because this was a new meetup, and I didn't know anybody. So I remember it vividly. It's so funny. I walk in there, I open the door. There's all these people, and at first when you go to like these meetups, I'm like, okay, is it the whole bar, the whole place that is a meetup, or is it just a different section?
Corner,
you can't really tell, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember what made me feel comfortable right away. I think you turned around and kind of just introduced and welcomed me, like, hey, I'm Tyler. What's your name? Sherwin. Blah, blah, blah. We introduce. Hey, welcome. Are you here for the meetup? I go, yeah, I'm here for the meetup. Yeah. Here, you can put your bag out here, maybe grab a drink, and we're all just kind of mingling right now before we go around in a circle, introduce each other. I was like, that one little move right there just got my comfort level and got me at ease, because it's nerve-wracking. People kind of get intimidated going to meetups, and I get intimidated. So that helped out. And I think I got my drink settled in, went back to your circle because I really connected with you and kind of just flowed and went from there. So that's how we kind of initially first met up. And I don't know if you want to talk about your first impressions of me.
Yeah.
Good or not, I don't know.
No. Yeah. So it's always fun to see both sides of the story, right? And so, yeah, I used to host a meetup in Oakland every month with a good friend of mine, Brian Pham. And again, this gets me thinking, man, I miss those pre-COVID days when we could just go and reserve a bar for a couple hours every night. And luckily, Brian, shout out to Brian, who's a good friend of ours, and helped connect us, actually, when you think about it, because he used to host this meetup, and he's now he's the I don't even know what you want to call it, the superstar of networking.
He's hustling.
He's hustling. He's the creator of Asian Hustle Network. And so he started inviting me over as kind of a co-host to help grow his networking and his monthly meetup. And that, it was funny because that was one of the meetups where Brian couldn't make it. So I was actually kind of nervous myself, because I then was tasked with basically hosting this meetup myself. And so it's funny to hear that you were kind of nervous going into it, because I also was the same, in a similar position where it's like, okay, Brian's not here. I'm here by myself. I got to host this whole meetup. There could be 50 people there. There could be 2 people there. There could be 100 people there. I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But but again, I think back to like mentally preparing yourself. Yes, there's always some nerves, and it's not always easy to just go out there and network and be social, but there's so much power to that. Cause like, if you didn't show up to that meetup and I didn't host that meetup, like this podcast would never have happened probably. So it's like, it's just going out there, being warm, be likable, welcome people in, I think the word networking gets a bad rap, but it's all about like just making friends. I like to use that a lot. I think I heard that maybe on the Bigger Pockets podcast, but it's like, go out there and try and meet friends, like find people that you connect with. And for whatever reason, Sherwin, I felt like we connected from a chemistry level, like pretty instantaneously. And that's what it kind of like comes down to, man. Like, it's like dating. Like you I don't know. Personally, I can usually feel out like if I'm going to vibe with someone or not pretty quickly. And for whatever reason, I think I felt that vibe, and I was like, I need to get to know this dude better. And we must have exchanged numbers or phone numbers or business cards or something at that point. And I always knew that there was that Hawaii connection too, man. So it's like little things like that, where there's this a comfortability and connection is what really, I think, drew us together. So
Yeah, I think that's what's important. Like, it's funny because even prior to that, I actually met Brian for the first time at a mastermind dinner that one of our other mutual friends, Brenda Chen,
Brenda? Yeah, yeah,
hosted. And I was at this mastermind dinner, and a whole like host of who's who of real estate investors was on that dinner, and Brian was one of them. That's how I sort of got acquainted with his meetup. And if I didn't go to that, maybe I wouldn't have heard about his meetup. It all kind of like,
It
started like
all connects, man.
yeah, or started like a domino effect. But yeah, I mean, you put it right where if you go into like a networking situation where you're like, okay, I'm going to go in here and get investors for my deal. That's going about the wrong way. It's almost like if you go to a bar or restaurant and you're searching for your wife, you're not going to find your wife.
Yep.
You're not going to find your girlfriend. Just kind of go in there and just like we just talked about, just get to know each other and get to see if there's any commonalities between you guys. Like you and I, like I mentioned, I was from Hawaii. You gravitate towards that. Oh, I like Hawaii, blah blah blah. And that was like one thing outside of real estate. Maybe we didn't even talk about real estate then or what we did, but we were just kind of learning about each other. What we do. What our background was, and then we kind of dove into kind of like our real estate goals, so we can figure out how to help each other out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a whole nother
That's a whole
episode.
episode on
Yeah.
networking. Yeah, I think my last 2 points on that is, and I know we're diverting a lot from kind of our episode plan, we'll call it, but like we're talking about networking, but it really is like it has been a game changer for me and you. So it's like I think this is something that I think new investors or even old investors or whatever, like you have to prioritize and think about connections in this industry, which is why, I think I'm very out there from a vocal standpoint of like meet people, whether it's online or in person, and you never know where that's going to lead. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's great, like for our viewers that are watching or listening to this on right now, in a way, this is kind of a form of networking as
yeah,
well. Because
yeah,
now you got Tyler and I
yeah,
as kind of like your real estate buddies, kind of like, hey, you're networking with us. You can kind of hear our stories, and we'd be happy to hear your stories if you contact us, about your real estate goals and maybe questions of what you want to learn or what you want to get out of this podcast. And that's sort of like that's kind of like a good segue to talk about like who is our audience, who are
yep.
we trying to reach out to, and I don't know, you kind of dabbled it a little bit earlier, Tyler, about you being the millennial bachelor guy, and me being
Yeah,
the young married dude with kids, the young married
the
dude with
young
kids.
unmarried guy. Yeah. So I think in terms of like, yeah, the good transition to kind of who our audience is. And I think Sherwin and I maybe attract a different type of audience, which I think will be good for this content and this show. But I've always been, at least the last few years, very concerned, not concerned, but I have been trying to prioritize building an audience, whether that's through like my website or social media or now through this YouTube channel. But it's really about cultivating that audience and helping them learn throughout the process of what real estate can do for you. So I think I connect generally with kind of the millennial crowd, we'll call it. And I'm in the Bay Area, so are you. And just by default, I connect with a lot of people in the mid 20s to early 30s. Generally, they're in the Bay Area, again, tech money, living that tech life,
Tech
and
Monday.
that making the good wage. Now, ironically, I was never a high wage earner when it comes to my W-2, but yeah, I think it's people that are open, people that are curious, people that are trying to prioritize their financial future. They have a long-term vision, and they want to make sure they're set up for the long term to really pursue projects outside of their 9 to 5 job. And if they have a 9 to 5 job and they love it, that's great. But if they want to, quote unquote, retire early and be able to prioritize travel or friends and family, like that's the people I connect with very well. I think from a mental standpoint, a strategy standpoint, philosophical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's kind of the audience I think I attract, and I think will be watching us. And maybe I would assume yours is probably somewhat similar, but
Yeah, I mean, like you
yeah.
always ask, like there's that saying, like who's your avatar, right?
Yep. Yep.
And for me, it's someone. It's funny you say your age group. My age group is sort of is right after that age group,
Yep.
sort of like the mid 30s, maybe early 40s. A business professional, maybe they have their own company, they have their own startup, or maybe they have a high managerial position in their current company right now, where maybe they're married or just got married, or maybe starting a family or already have kids, where they're just looking for alternative investments to sort of supplement maybe their other investments. Maybe they dabbled in stocks and they have their 401k, and they're just looking for another investment vehicle or another investment type to you know, have higher and better returns on their money that's sitting in their savings account, or they're not happy with the returns they're getting on the stock market or their other investments. And they've always wanted to invest in real estate. They just don't know how, and they don't have time to manage real estate property. And that's sort of who I gravitate towards, I guess, and resonate more, because I almost basically describe myself as a kind of like having a young family and looking for ways to kind of build passive wealth for me and my kids, my family and so forth. So not that I only attract that type of kind of audience, but I also attract like the millennials, like you and I, we connected.
Exactly.
So I think like I think our audience is kind of broad. I don't know if we want to say they're, this show, as we organically kind of grow it, could be for the newbies, maybe just wanting to learn about real estate, just don't know how to figure out, or more experienced ones where they just want to, see if they get anything out of it, maybe not, or maybe just experienced investors that are maybe on the same level as us, maybe a little bit more experienced, maybe less, where we're kind of just like colleagues going side by side on this journey. I think that's what kind of makes us kind of like different, is that, it's about the journey, right? Kind of going through this journey together and going through all these obstacles together, seeing how to overcome them and all these different challenges in this crazy world of investing in real estate,
Yeah. No, I think you put it very well. And I love the fact that we're admitting that, we may have some type of strategy going into it, but we're always very open to being flexible and pivoting if we need to. So yeah, I don't think we have an ideal avatar yet or an ideal audience member. But again, if you want to learn about real estate, we're here. We have experience in the LP world, the GP world, the single family world, the local single family world, the out-of-state single family world. And I think like looking through kind of what our content looks like, we're even going to touch on things like we're very much into just personal finance too. So it's like I think our goal is really to find ways to help you all increase your net worth and find a way to achieve your ideal life financially. So
it'd be interesting to see the kind of like the comments on our video, and maybe have suggestions from the viewers, like, hey, this is what I want to learn or not learn, or you guys should maybe focus on this or that. I know we'll probably get a bunch of different ones. Maybe we won't get any comments. Maybe no one will watch it. But it'll be kind of great to kind of see some feedback.
Yeah, and I think looking just kind of through what our plan is, like we're going to try and spice things up and have some fun, but talk about everything from like our first to worst to favorite deal. We're going to probably walk through some offering memorandums. We're going to touch on the syndication world. We're going to have guest interviews. We're going to just tackle current events and market trends. So it's going to be, I think, a show that's going to appeal to a lot of different people. Because our goal is to, like I said earlier, like be different and have really fun, different content out there.
Yeah. I think the first couple episodes, we gotta let the viewers know. It's not just gonna be you and I chatting the whole time.
Yep.
We'll bring kind of industry colleagues, depending on the topic that we're speaking about, to also speak about the subject. Maybe even talk about maybe doing like kind of mastermind kind of forum, maybe a round table where we get a group of our, investor friends talking about a particular subject, or talking about their experience as well. So we're figuring it out as we go along. I know these first couple of episodes, please bear us. It might be just be Tyler and I just chatting away, but I think it's important for us to kind of, put ourselves out there so you figure out, get to know who we are and, why we're doing what we're doing. And hopefully you guys can connect with us and, support us, on this journey of ours,
And that's we'll kind of tease the next episode, I guess. From here, we're kind of wrapping up this one, but yeah, our next episode will still be kind of focused on Sherwin and myself. But we in the last year or so have transitioned away from a full-time job and are now making our ways into the roller coaster and frightening / fun world of full-time real estate, at least for this chapter of our lives. So it's going to be a lot about that transition, and I think a lot of people dream about getting to that point, right, where you can take that leap. And there are great days, there's bad days, there's fun days, there's challenging days, there's days when you're worried about your next paycheck, wherever that's going to come from. We're gonna chat on that next episode.
We picked an awesome time to do it, right, during COVID. So that would be a great fun-filled episode, transitioning full time into REI, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
So let's see what else we got today.
I think we try to end our show. We're trying to figure out how to end our show because a lot of people end their shows with some type of bit, and we're like, we gotta make it funny, or we gotta have some type of uh, something different, right?
Yep.
That's out there. And I don't know, we're gonna be trying a bunch of different stuff. Some may stick, some won't. But I think one thing you talked about, like, hey, what's a kind of like a interesting kind of real estate fun fact? And Tyler didn't come prepared.
I didn't. I made sure that I told Sherwin to come prepared for this because I wasn't
I
going
know he's like just he's like, be prepared to what you're gonna talk about, what we're gonna talk about at the end. So actually, I mean, I literally just kind of Googled something. So to be honest, so don't hate on me, but it's sort of like sort of dealing with our subject. But I mean, it's just a fun fact that did you know about, like, and since we are both kind of like more focused on real estate syndication, did you know that one of the most famous syndications was the purchase of the Empire State Building in New York?
I
And
had no idea.
yeah, it was purchased in 1961 for $65 million from 3,000 small investors, and many of them who paid only $10,000 for a single share.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
interesting because I was only introduced to this world of syndication about a couple of years ago, and
Mhm.
it's interesting to hear that because this model of syndication and basically pooling together money from multiple investors to buy a property and close on it,
Mhm.
it's clearly been around forever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even myself, when I think maybe even some people that have started watching us just through Twitter or whatnot, like they may not even know what syndication is yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I started buying single family and duplexes. That was my initial strategy, and then I got introduced to this world of syndication like 2 years later. So
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about that. That investment vehicle. I didn't know about it till a couple of years ago as well. I didn't know it was called that, even though I kind of did it.
mhm.
I didn't know. Oh, I just kind of did a syndication there. And it's in fact like to piggyback on the Empire State, when it opened up during the Great Depression, you know, because it opened up during the Great Depression, much of the space initially just was unrented, so it was a failure, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and many of the New Yorkers actually referred to the building to Empty State Building instead of Empire State Building. But that's the beauty about real estate. That you held down, and look at it where
Mhm.
it's at now, man.
Mhm.
How would you feel like if you had a $10,000 share right now, and
Oof.
where'd you be sitting right now? You and I probably wouldn't be doing the show right now, right? We'd be doing
No,
something.
well, that's another topic actually. What do you do once you're financially free? And I think
Uh,
we still have to
oh
stay
yeah,
busy somehow. But man,
yeah,
I
yeah.
would love to know how much the Empire State Building is worth now. I have no idea. I'm sure you can do a quick Google search on that, but
Yeah, yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea what that's worth.
Yeah, that's a great little fun fact. And we could end on another question, but let's.
Yeah, let's end on one more question and then we'll wrap this up. But and I think part of why I think Sherwin and I connect too. It's not just all real estate all the time. It's also about personal development. It's about optimizing our health and our time with family and everything. But so there may be some tangents here and there about topics that are not just real estate, right? So I guess a question for you, Sherwin, is I'm curious to hear this. What's one habit um, that you try to do every day and why?
Uh, it's fun. Yes, I actually had this question at like a networking meetup one time, and my answer was that every day I try to make a habit to make my bed. And I think it started a long time ago. I don't forget if it was my mom or my dad that told me when I was a kid. Was one of them told me, if you don't make your bed every day or in the morning, you're gonna have a bad day the rest of the day. So it kind of stuck with me. These little things that you've been told as a kid, they kind of stick with you. And those are one of the things that kind of stuck with me. So to this day, I try to make my bed every morning. And even when even when we're on vacation at a hotel, my wife hates it. I make the bed at the hotel, and she's like, "Why are you making the bed? Housekeeping's gonna come in." She like throws all the sheets on the floor and all the pillows on the floor, and oh, it's just one of those things that stick with me. And I try to pass along to my son. He's like 4. My daughter's still too young. I'm like, hey, you want to help me make the bed? He's like, no. I was like, but then, and I try to be like, well, if you don't make the bed, you're gonna have a bad day. I think he's still, he's at that 4-year-old stage where he's like, I don't care right now. I don't want him too lazy to make the
A
bed
little
right
bit of
now.
a rebel.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you make the bed in the morning. It's one of those goals. You get one goal accomplished throughout the day and kind of set your day off to a right foot. So that's one thing that I do every day. I try to, make my bed every day. How about you? What's one habit that you try to do in life?
Well, I was gonna try and go with some type of like super cool financial habit,
Yeah.
but my brain went straight to I
Count
think
your money.
I count my money every single day. No. I do a lot of things every day, but I'm going to touch on something that's more like health related actually. I make sure I drink like 100 ounces of water every day. I literally have this big water bottle that I drink like 3 or 4 of every day. And I don't know where that started. I think naturally I'm a pretty thirsty person, but
yeah.
but I just know that I think a lot of people neglect drinking enough water and are not hydrated. So anyways, I think long story short, my answer is I drink water, a lot of water every day. And I think that just helps from an energy standpoint. Like I don't drink any coffee. I've never been a caffeine kind of guy. So it's like, for whatever reason, the water does works for me, man. It's like keeps me hydrated and I feel good throughout the day. So drink water, everyone. Drink water and make your bed. That's the takeaway from today's episode.
Yeah, I mean, it wakes up your brain in the morning too, because that's one of the first things I do when I wake up. I drink like a glass of water. I always have it on my bedside, and just when I wake up, drink. It wakes up your body, wakes up your brain, and so forth. It's not because you're hungover, right, the night before, Tyler?
Oh, no, never hungover. Well, I think Sherwin, that wraps up our first episode, dude. I think it's funny going into this, we were a little bit nervous, and I think as we get better and learn to record ourselves on Zoom and have natural conversations and have real talk, like we're just going to get better. And maybe one day we'll have some fancy graphics and cool editing and stuff, but this is the rough stage. This is episode 1. I guess, don't forget to like and subscribe our video. We would love the support. If you guys like what you're seeing, please support us from that standpoint. Let us know what you want to hear about from us in the future by leaving comments below. I mean, anything else from your end, Sherwin?
No, I just want to thank everyone who kind of supporting us and viewing this right now. Thanks for kind of bearing through this pilot episode. It's going to be rough, man. This is real. We're not pros here. This is our first pilot episode. We're probably not even looking at the camera. We're looking at our notes. I'm looking here. I'm looking at all kinds of stuff here. But just thank everyone for supporting, and hopefully you give us a shot and follow us along this journey.
Yeah, and now Sherman, we gotta end with our outro, bro. We gotta somehow perfect this, but
should we say together, or I don't even know.
Maybe at least for the first time I'll count down, but should we just do a countdown?
Yeah, should we do like 5, like wait?
No, that's too much. I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1. It's been real. I don't know if that actually worked.
It's ironic because that was probably the least real thing that we did.
That was horrible. That was literally horrible.
Well, anyways, this is real talk with.
It's real, man. It's been real.
It's this real estate investing real talk with Tyler and Sherwin, and guys, it's been real. So hopefully, we'll see you guys in the next episode, and we'll just take it from there.
Cool. Yeah. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye.
Peace. Clear voice, take a sip of water.
Or whiskey.
I literally just put this shirt on like 10 minutes ago, and I put some gel in my hair, and I was like, we got to record.
Oh, dude. My hair. Dun, dun, dun. This is our animation. Real estate, real investing, real talk with Tyler and Sherwin.
So it's like, okay, let's maybe do like a practice run. Like,
What's
up, everyone? It's Tyler from, well, actually, I wouldn't say, what should I even say, dude? We're going to freaking learn, man. Like, we're just going to go with it.
I could be like, hey guys, welcome to the Real Estate Investing Real Talk Show. I almost forgot the name.
I know, dude. I keep forgetting it too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be so funny because we're
like it, dude. I like it.
I mean, I had my real estate fact ready for you.
Oh, you have a fact? Oh, damn. Okay.
You told me, well, it was on there.
No, dude, you're more prepared than me, man. You're more prepared than me.